Okay, so since nobody believes me about my past relationships with swirling, here's a perfect example. Remember that one chick I was telling you about that was engaged to her fiance at the time? Well, this is her. As you can see by the icon up here, that is her, and this is a text message conversation. So, you gotta remember, this behavior I'm gonna show you is extremely crazy, and this is what I was dealing with. Just on top of her hiding her engagement status, she's out there doing this too. This is what she sent me in a picture text message. That's her at a party. That's her grinding on another female at a house party or some shit like that. And like she writes there, as you can see, LOL, I'm a savage. Like, are you serious? Like, what kind of behavior is that? You're first off engaged, and then you're in a relationship with me, and then you do this behavior, and then you send me pictures of it, or a video picture of it. It's just insane. So then here's a picture of us hanging out. And here's us on vacationing. And so she's reminiscing back on what we used to do until I found out, she was engaged. And she's like, I really want this to work out. I'm not ready to give up on this just yet. It's like, are you serious? And I'm just ignoring her because it's getting ridiculous. So, yeah, it's nuts. Like, I don't think you understand. Like, I was the king of swirl back then. So here you go. Remember, she's engaged and she's sending me these photos. And, yeah, let me, So then she's sending me videos like this, trying to entice me to come over and stuff. So, yeah.
Alright, so I came across this great article. There is a difference between attraction and fetishizing by Womanist Musings. So here's why I choose not to swirl. Having been in an interracial relationship for 20 plus years, I can tell you that they take work. Even when love is involved, race will inevitably be a hurdle that needs to be jumped repeatedly. And as I was saying, why do I want to deal with this? I just want to just live my life, and I don't want to deal with talking about that. So this is how these interracial relationships work. You got to decolonize one's mind. It's a lifetime journey, and no matter how much love or incentive there is to check one's racial privilege, inevitable racial conditioning will raise its ugly head, and then it will be back to square one. Race is not some minor difference like enjoying different types of music or rooting for opposing hockey teams. It's a fundamental part of one person's or cultural background. And if anything, with the MGTOW community, why would you want to put yourself at risk for these crazy fighting situations where, in the end, if divorce is initiated or, you have children, now you have to go through divorce and child support and that crazy aspect. So, no thanks, I'll pass. People of color are used to viewing the world as race, whereas white people perceive race as something that doesn't apply to them because whiteness has been constructed as neutral. Fetishizing someone because their race is not a compliment. It assumes a monolithic identity and evidences that which is truly desired is not an equal relationship, but a caricature of what is understood to be natural based in race. Each racial group has their own stereotypes to negotiate by gender. When embarking on an interracial relationship, one never knows for sure if the interest expressed is because the potential partner believes that you are attractive, intelligent, funny, and great to be around. Before a person of color enters any room, let alone a relationship, race enters and brings with it a load of assumptions. Dating outside of one's race opens the possibility of not just having one's heart broken, but dealing with the fact that in some cases, what the person really wants is not actually you, but the stereotype they assume you embody. When it comes to interracial relationships, the white partner is often seen as the savior. For some black men, the white women are considered a trophy to be paraded around as a sign of how far one has come in the world. For black women, a white man is at times seen as proof of one's femininity, as well as a knight in shining armor for saving a black woman from a threesome with Ben and Jerry's and the company of cats. In every relationship, there are always going to be inequalities, but the imbalance created by race can often reveal something significant about ourselves, in that it evidences the degree to which one has internalized harmful information about what it is to be a person of color in a white supremacist world. What are you willing to put up with says as much about you as the person spouting the racist vitriol. So just more ammunition on my side is why I choose not to swirl.
Why on earth? And I'll just talk to the rotten yellow tomato right now. Mr. Rotten Yellow Tomato, why on earth would you think that I would choose somebody like you? Or say just simply because of your whiteness that I would want black women to be with you. You, with clearly, like, the character that you display, sir. I'm not even going to clown you. I'm just going to say the character that you display is so weak and so pathetic that the original platform, your original platform, nobody cares about.
That's true. Not as much as this.
And so you discover that a group of women who you have no relationship with at all, you say you don't want to date, you don't want to, and you give all of these really stereotypical, hateful reasons, and then you go on a conversation with me,
racism.
and we're very cordial. You are such a coward that when you were on a line with me, when you had your forum,
I didn't really want to go on, but you offered.
Say what you wanted to say with me.
You contacted me. I didn't contact you. I was just like, why you want me on here? It's not going to go well.
You didn't display the lack of character. You seemed, it was very cordial.
Because I put out what I needed to say in my video, so I don't have nothing else to add to it.
Because that is what you are. You are a rotten tomato, and I would never, ever, 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 ever recommend you to anybody, let alone a white woman. Like, I think all women should really not date you.
MGTOW!
Yes, Ruby Bloodmoon says, us MGTOW have been ignoring his attention whoring ass. Yeah, I mean, it's obvious, like...
What was that?
MGTOW? He's not really giving the men going their own way a good look. He's making them look pretty pathetic and whiny and childish, like just really very childish. And I personally, to be honest with you, these are not men from what I've seen, because I have not seen a man going their own way, whether it be on YouTube or through blogs. I haven't not one single one that isn't somehow psychologically off in some way, either extremely selfish, arrested in their development, entitled. There was something wrong with them, like all of them. I mean, that's just from what I see. There's something not right. So I welcome them to go their own way.
Can you hear me now?
I would help if there was a GoFundMe that said we want to buy our own island, so all of the men go their own way can be on that island. I would contribute.
They would be following us to that island.
Tell me a little bit about the movement that you started, why you did it, and then tell me about what you think about what I've just been talking about for the past.
Okay, I started my MGTOW movement a month ago, July 15, 2016, and the person that influenced me to do this MGTOW movement is
Sandman.
Brooklyn Blue, Miss Archduchess, and Egypt Ann. It's basically, I only take the acronym from men going their own way instead of, because people say I'm trying to copy off of MGTOW, but I'm not really copying off of MGTOW. I'm just taking the acronym from the name and make it black women going their own way, because I feel like we, black women, should be the first people to go our own way, because we are the only race of women that put other people's interests over our own. And Brooklyn Blue was the first to name it black women going their own way, and not just say, okay, I'm going to make a movement out of it. The black women going our own way, it's about putting our own interests first, our own wants, our own likes and everything.
Mm-hmm.
It's a heterosexual movement because a lot of people think, oh, why are you including? I don't have anything against lesbians, okay? I don't have anything against lesbians, but I don't promote a lesbian lifestyle for black women who want to go their own way. Or that's why I said if they want to be single or celibate, or they can interracially date or marry. And I don't endorse lesbianism because I've been noticed that a couple of pro-black women, you know, they want to push that lesbianism because
I want to talk to you about that for a second.
Black image. So
as usual, copycatting the MGTOW movement, guys. I'm telling you, no matter what men do, women fall in line and follow what we do because we are the leaders and we implement things. So this isn't just, you know, a black thing. It's all races.
Bails out. Now, if you want to be celibate like myself, that's your choice too. But there is another way, because I know a lot of black women do not want to be celibate. So to tell black women, well, choose your own poison, all men are poison, you jumping from one black penis to another black penis, to a non-black penis, saying, oh, well, you're still under patriarchy, you be with any man, so might as well just give up all men altogether.
Are you really sure that in the black community it's a patriarchy? I'm sort of confused on that aspect because, especially with the dynamics of how this country works, we know black men don't have any power over women, let alone black women. It's like I don't even have to discuss that. So many other channels have discussed that aspect. So that whole patriarchy BS is just nonsense, especially in this country. So yeah.
But when you talk about going outside the race, oh, they ain't gonna take you in their patriarchy.
Right, exactly. And it's just totally, they won't accept you, and like this and that, and the thing is that like, like this whole idea of, oh, a better deal. To me, a better deal is finding a man who loves you, who's committed to you, who is willing to.
All right, I had enough of this. It's getting a little ridiculous. So, as usual, when women talk, they just talk about nonsense. All right, guys, I'm getting a little tired of doing this, so I'm gonna end this video. But in conclusion, as you can see, that I've experienced the swirling movement myself many times. I used to be the king of swirling down here. Not anymore, because when the truth comes out, as it always does, the exposure, it'll just set you free. And that's the best thing that anybody wants, is the truth. So, leave your comments down below. Comment, rate, subscribe, and the swirling movement has just been bigoted!